Hello students, we have already completed 3 chapters: direct and indirect, active and passive, and conditionals. Today we shall begin another chapter, and that is also prescribed to your syllabus, that is the prepositions. Before teaching you, let me clarify you regarding the pronunciation of this particular word, because I was a victim in its pronunciation, attending a seminar in Kolkata where more than 90 teachers were there. Each of the teachers as well as the instructors pronounced this particular as prepositions, but I was alone there and I pronounced it as prepositions because I had been habituated to pronounce it so. Anyway, on that day I learned that it is pronounced as prepositions. But I was also puzzled. I was in a great dilemma when I just searched the word in the dictionary and saw that it is written phonetically as prepositions. Even it has been pronounced also as prepositions. But anyway, as most of the learned persons pronounce it prepositions, from that day I started to pronounce it as prepositions instead of prepositions. Anyway, it is a very important chapter. It is a highly confusing chapter because in prepositions nobody can say that I have cultured the most or I have learnt everything, and there will be no mistake in prepositions, or person cannot claim that I cannot make any sort of mistake while writing or in prepositions while writing any sort of articles. So in our general discussions, first of all we have to go through the conceptual clarity. Let us have some basics. Let us be fundamentally clear about the chapter prepositions. As you know first, that its definition is a preposition is a word that is placed before a noun or pronoun to show in what relation the thing or the noun denoted by it stands or something like that. So first of all, let us have what it is about or what is the definition of prepositions. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun to show in what relation the thing or the nouns denoted by its stance first of all something like that. First of all we have to remember that what is a preposition? It is a word, it is placed before a noun or pronoun. Why? In order to show the relation, to show in what relation. So, what is the relation actually the things or the nouns denoted by its stance? For example, suppose as we are just discussing the general aspects of prepositions, example I may give you. There is a boy in the classroom. Or I am fond of chocolates. See, in this case, we may say, now let us know what the definition says and how our examples serve in the same way. Here see, the boy, it is a noun, and here where he is in the classroom, it is another noun. Here, fond is the adjective, and chocolates, it is another noun. So, mark, it creates the or shows the relationship between one noun to the other, or between a noun to an adjective or adjective to noun, or even to adverb or verb. So this is the prepositions. So it is very clear that preposition is placed before a noun or pronoun, and it is meant to show the relation or the relationship of the things or the nouns denoted by its stance. So it is very clear what the preposition is, and from the examples you must have clarified of your doubts, or I think you don't have any sort of doubts what a preposition is. So let us now move to kinds of prepositions.
Start.
So now let us know about the kinds of prepositions. I would have written here earlier, like some of the previous episodes what I have done, But in order to give you the experience of real classroom teaching, I am just generally teaching you in this way. So that is why let you know that kinds of prepositions. Bit 1, simple prepositions. What are those simple prepositions? Simple prepositions that we generally use in each and every sentence. Let you know that are, in, on, of, for, since, with, by, etc. These are all simple prepositions. Number 2, it is about compound prepositions. What are those compound prepositions? Because it is something, or these prepositions are a little bit lengthier than these ones. How? It is within, within, inside, outside, without, even about, etc. These are all the compound prepositions. And number 3, it is the phrasal prepositions. Phrasal prepositions. I have already taught you in the chapter conditionals. What is a phrase? Phrase means it is more than one. How it is? In that case, our phrasal prepositions are in spite of, in consequence of, in order to, in common with, according to, in view of, by dint of, by means of, for the purpose of, owing to, many are there, etc. So, these are all known as the phrasal prepositions, because each preposition is followed by another one, or sometimes we find more than one preposition within, in order, then another one, to. So, number 4, we may say it is as disguising, disguised prepositions. Actually, I shall give you some of the examples, and afterwards you can learn easily why they are called as the disguised prepositions. So, in case of disguised prepositions, let me give you some examples. Teachers. See, all the students joined the party including the teachers. Here, if I say you find out the preposition here, you will be in a dilemma, you will be puzzled, you will be highly confused to find a preposition, because you know that at, in, on, or, about, for, with, or since, for, these are all the prepositions, but there is no such words used in this particular one. So what is a preposition? For another example, concerning yesterday's incident, the police will take action. The police will take action. See, in this case also, if I say to find out a preposition here, you will be in a perplexement. You will be highly perplexed or confused to find out which one is the preposition here. And finally, you have to answer that, sir, there is no preposition at all. See, here concerning is the preposition. Concerning, it refers to about, and here including is the prepositions. So these are the participles. As ing is used here, these are the verbs. Here concern is the verb and here include is the verb. We have added ing, but in this sentence, they work here, they act here, or they have been used here as prepositions, not any other. So, in that case, we say that as they have ended in ing, we call them as participle prepositions. In disguised prepositions, you may make it another column telling them as participle prepositions. Participle prepositions. And what are the participle prepositions? The prepositions that end with ing. Actually, they are made from verb. So, what are those? Let you know that we knew about the two, including, excluding, concerning, bearing, touching, pending, regarding, etc. See, these can be used as the prepositions. And besides that, or besides all these, we have other disguised prepositions. We remain in a puzzle state in order to find the preposition because we don't know that they are actually used here as the prepositions. See, number B. What are those? Save. Save means accept, and it is mostly used. Save as a preposition mostly used in poetry. Anywhere else you find save in a poem, you have to think of its meaning as accept. Save plus minus save plus minus like unlike past. When we say that it is 9:30, the term past has been used here as a preposition. See, so past as a preposition, as, even as also is used as a preposition, etc. So these are all the kinds of prepositions, and you have to learn them. I have already told you that these are some sort of things to clarify your fundamentals, and don't think that they will come in your exam. The exam oriented grammar is something different we shall deal in, but beforehand we have to culture, we have to remember each and every chapter with their rules, otherwise we may not be able to score good marks basically in grammar. As we are discussing the fundamentals of the prepositions, let me tell you that several words are there. They act both as adverb as well as the prepositions. How? When they govern a noun or the pronoun, at that time it is prepositions, but when they do not, it is an adverb, or they are the adverbs. Let us now know about them. How? See, here we have to write adverbs. Here you have to write adverbs, and here prepositions. Let us now know prepositions. Let us now know what is the difference. How the same word that acts as an adverb and that becomes the preposition. Suppose if I say the wheel came off. There is no noun or pronoun here in order to govern it. So that is why it is an adverb. But the boy fell off the ground. Fell off the ground. So here it governs both noun, two nouns are there. That is why here it is used as preposition. Whereas here it is adverb. For another example, he came in. There is no noun, no pronoun, nothing else. So here it is adverb. Here in as a preposition, though we know that it is a preposition, but it acts here as an adverb. Whereas here we can write he is in the room. Then it is here in acts as a preposition. Suppose someone say, don't run about. Then about acts here as an adverb because it is a real word. It qualifies here or it speaks about the verb. But here, don't run about the field. Then it acts as a preposition. So these are certain basics or some of the fundamental things in order to clarify your conceptual or concept regarding the prepositions I just told you. And in the next class I shall teach you about the classifications of prepositions which are so important for you, and those have been discussed or those have been within your syllabus and in your book 4, and we shall discuss in our next class. This is for today. Thank you. Stay blessed.